G'day everyone and welcome to Hayes Homestead. In our neck of the woods, the kangaroos will hang out with just about anybody. This week, spring has really stepped on it and the garden is in full bloom. There's pops of colour everywhere. The jasmine is really starting to come out, which is right next to our door, so it's the first thing I smell in the morning and it's just sensational. With all the flowers in bloom, the garden in full colour, I have to say this is probably one of my most favourite times of the year. If you missed the last episode, we started putting in the fencing around the veggie garden to stop anything from getting in and eating our produce. We even made this beautiful handmade gate from scratch. So with the veggie beds already built, we're ready to start growing things, but we've got to protect them. But this week we're doing something else. Well, as I mentioned in the last episode, this video we're actually moving around to the other side of the veggie garden to start putting in a lot more of the infrastructure over here, because there's a lot more that's going on this side. We kind of also need to start getting that in place so then we can put the rest of the fence in and start closing the veggie garden up. So at the end of this episode you're going to see the veggie garden really start to take shape, and you'll also see some of the more important bits of infrastructure that we use to help us not only stay organized, but it also helps us with storage. So I think this episode you're going to end up seeing quite a big transformation by the end of it. So I think for now, let's just grab a shovel and start digging some posts in. While those posts set, I decided I really wanted to get rid of this mound of dirt that's going to be in the way. So I started levelling it out with, yep, you can see that, a chipping hoe. Finding tyres and bricks and all sorts in here, it was like a treasure trove. But I'm glad I got this sorted out because it was actually getting quite annoying. I have all these panels left over from my old chicken coop. When I built my new one, dismantled my old coop, I sort of had them lying around. You've probably noticed them in some of my videos, and I've been trying to think where I might be able to use them. And actually this is probably the perfect project for it because they're well ventilated. They're going to keep my firewood dry, which is not what happens with my current setup. So I think this is probably the perfect project to use them on. So recycling, which is great because I hate wasting stuff, and it also will make building this thing a lot quicker. So let's get this out and start screwing it together. We've got a very spicy wind coming through here today, so let's see how much we can get done. So I got absolutely everything ready to put these post shoes in. I even retrofitted my blower with a nice little hose to blow out the holes after I drilled them. So with everything ready to go, of course, would you believe it, we had a power cut. So I bust out my Bluetti AC300, start drilling holes as quick as I can, and blowing them out because I've got post shoes to put in and I ain't waiting for the power to come back on. Once all that stuff was done, packed it all up and carted it off to the house to switch on the internet and water for the rest of the folks. Trying to work off a pitch of about 5 degrees. It looks like my calculations were okay because I think that's what we've got. So next we've got to cut the roof joists for this span is 4800. I want to do 600mm centers, so I need 8 of them. So we're gonna have to miter and birdmouth those, and then we've got to get them up in this pretty crazy wind. So we've got a lot of cutting to do, so we should probably get on with that, and then hopefully we can start putting some battens on if we've got time. The sky is starting to look pretty ominous and it does say it's going to rain, so I think let's maybe err on the side of caution and pack up the tools, and I think possibly get the bits of timber for the battens that the roof sheets will affix to, but at least the joists are on and it's starting to look more like a building, and tomorrow it will have a roof on it, but it's quite tall actually, so I'm pretty happy with the results. Should get a fair bit of wood in here, but yeah, for now, stay ahead of the storm, let's pack it up and try and get ready for tomorrow. Well, in a bizarre moment of genius last night, I decided, oh, it's so bright, I decided that if I wanted to paint this to match the rest of the garden, I should probably paint these bits while the roof was off. So here I am, out here early, painting the roof joists white. So it looks like the rest of the garden. Whose bright idea was this? We got the joists painted white. I think they look nice. So after that, I put a closer board up here, a closer board up there, and I think we will probably just paint all the bare timber and posts black with the bitumen paint. I also took the white accents off here. I think I'll probably paint this with the black as well, so it all sort of matches up. So we got ourselves a roller ready. Looks like we got work to do. As I pondered over last night's reheated pasta, I was trying to think whether or not I should paint the battens, and the solution I've come up with is I'm going to paint one, and that will be one that you'll probably be able to see that goes along the front. The others, I think I'll just end up painting the ends. So while that one dries, we've got a ladder loaded, ready to go. I've got an arse full of screws, so let's start throwing these battens up and see if maybe we've got time to finish painting the ends and potentially get some roof sheets up. I don't know. Let's see. Today was grocery day, which means I only get a few hours in the afternoon to do anything. So I figured probably a job I should have done before I put it away for winter, but I'm going to give this little beast a little service. So oil, filter, I already cleaned the air filters, blades, the usual shebang, and then we'll take her out for a spin, make the lawn look all nice, ready for someone's second birthday party this weekend. We're only having a small one this year, but I mean, still, it's probably nice to have the lawns looking all trim and short and stuff. So let's get on with this, and then tomorrow we can get back onto the firewood storage. Little bit of magic juice. So I like to do this at the start of the season because I think it just helps protect the engine, especially because we're obviously going to be using it a fair bit for a few months now. So I always do a treatment of this at the very start of the season, and then that should keep the engine going, I guess, in good condition. I don't know how much science is behind this. I mean, I've always used it, even on my old ones, and I mean, the motors still work really well. So it's got to work, right? Anyway, guess it's time to mow. Now I needed the tick of approval from someone who can see the ground much better than I can, and obviously that's going to be Tyler. She's much shorter than I am, and as you can see, she really liked it. Bit of a turn in the weather today. It rained last night and it was very windy, so everything's a bit damp, but not my spirits. Last night was not a very restful night. Unfortunately, the bean was not so settled, so it's just going to be one of those days. I think the weather's meant to clear up, although it's going to be windy today. We've got our paint ready. We're going to do these, get the angle right. We're going to paint the ends of these, both ends, and then hopefully we'll get the roof sheets on today, as long as it's not too windy that it just becomes dangerous. We've got to get this thing closed up. All my sheets are cut, and because Danny and Indy are having a nap in the lounge, I popped next door, devoured some of Nongshim's finest noodles, and waited for the rain to pass. Well, it seems to have dried up now, and it's a little less windy than it was before, so probably a good time to start getting some of these panels up on the roof and start closing this up, because we still have a fair bit of work to do. After a couple of days off for birthday shenanigans, it's time to jump back into it, even though it's extremely windy today. We've got to get this wall closed up, we've got to close up the gaps on the end, there's another one on the other end, and we've got to do the roof flashing where the wall meets the roof to stop any rain from getting in, and then it'll be pretty much self-contained. We can jump onto the floor. So let's try and get some of these sheets up, start closing this off so we can start storing some wood in it, and move on to the next part of the project. It's really starting to come along, and I think it looks quite nice. So it looks like we've got a massive rain band coming in, which means unfortunately not going to get these panels on today. I'm going to have to pick this up tomorrow, but it also unfortunately means that you're going to have to wait until next week to see the finished product. That's correct, you heard me. I am going to start moving away from the video per project kind of format that I do now and start doing a video a week, so you get to see in real time just exactly how much I get done, and you can watch the project unfold on a weekly basis instead of watching things every 2 to 3 weeks. So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you like the current format where I just do a project in one video but the videos are far less frequent, or would you prefer a more frequent upload so you get to see something each week and get to watch it in real time as it happens? So love to hear your thoughts, but as I said before, unfortunately this is all we've got time for in this episode. We got a fair bit done. I'm quite happy with it, but you know what, it's just as it is. So I really appreciate your support, and thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See you around.